Hello, hello everyone. Dear colleagues and friends, welcome to the Global Life Science Session 2022. My name is Shunichi Takahashi. I'm a COO of the Life Science Innovation Network Japan, LinkJ. I'll be your guide today. So before starting, a housekeeping announcement to today's speakers. And we'll be having a many presentation today. So please wait for your turn to make a presentation in the front or in the front side. And also, please keep to your own presentation time for the smooth running of the event. Your cooperation is highly appreciated. So, and then let's get started. Again, thank you for all for joining today. This symposium held for the first time in 3 years due to the COVID-19. And many people are already participated and registered in this session, both online and in person. And I'm very pleased to see you at the conference venue. So I'd like to say thank you for all participants for coming to Japan. And also I'd like to say my thanks to everyone involved in the preparation of this event. Let me introduce the LinkJ, what the LinkJ looks like. So LinkJ is an organization dedicated to the fostering innovation ecosystem in Japan. It has been more than 6 years, 6.5 years actually, and since we initiated our activities. And we now have nearly 600 members, which include the major universities, academic institutions, and large pharmaceutical companies, and many other small and medium-sized enterprises. In 2021, we organized 524 events. This means every day there was a LinkJ event somewhere else. So we are also supporting a wide range of activities, such as innovation pitches and networking events. So more importantly, in collaboration with Mitsui Fudosan, our partner, we provide the many facilities in the Nihonbashi area and Osaka, which include conference rooms, communication lounges, and the office and lab spaces. And this year we have also made available the other communication lounges in Kawasaki Tonomachi and Kashiwanoha. So this slide indicates our overseas partners. We are increasing our activities to connect the Japanese innovation community with the communities overseas. And most speakers today came from these organizations. I think this one. So I believe it is a first step for collaboration to get to know each other and understand their activities. That's why we organize this symposium today. So at the end of my opening remarks, I'd like to share two announcements which were published last Friday. One is that the LinkJ conference room is now available on the UC San Diego campus. So you can see the picture here. The conference room is prepared in the newly constructed the Franklin Anthony Hall in the middle of campus. So the other is that in the collaboration with Yokohama City, LinkJ opened a life science lounge at New York City. So LinkJ members can use the both facilities. So please visit our website if you for further information. Then I stop here. I hope you enjoy today's presentation from different countries and regions. And also, this event will help you expand your network. Thank you. Okay, and now here I'd like to invite Mr. Tsukamoto, our partners, the Executive Director of Japan Bioindustry Association, to give us a few words. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So first, I would like to express my great appreciation to LinkJ to give me this honorable opportunity. And also, I would like to say to all friends from overseas, we restart. Next slide. Later, I will explain World Band Life in BioJapan. This is the main item of my speech. Anyway, we start BioJapan from tomorrow. So almost all our staffs, we have 35 staffs in office, but almost all members is moved to Yokohama, so they are preparing. So just me, I came here. So because many friends come here. So and today, LinkJ will hold reception. So until reception, I will join. I will explain about this year's BioJapan. So gradually recovering. Last 2 years, just we introduced real and remote one, but the scale size was reduced. But this year almost recovered to almost as 2019. And so from overseas, around 500 people join from 34 countries. So that is a so nice situation. Even this COVID situation, I'm so appreciate. So, and next slide, please. I will explain. This is a keynote lecture. So we selected this year 3 speakers. First one is Mr. Tokura. So he is a head of Keidanren, special business group, biggest business group in Japan. So he will explain about the formation and growth of bioeconomy in Japan. So this June, Keidanren established a new working group for bioeconomy. That is first trial by Keidanren. So they put the emphasis on more bioeconomy in their activities. And also he is a key person of the government committee. So government now put emphasis on more bio or life science. So that is the present situation. And also second speaker is Mr. Okada. He is the head of Pharmaceutical Industry Association. He especially now Association of Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Association. They put emphasis on more how to establish an ecosystem in Japan. So that is the present situation. And also third speaker is Professor David Roms. So especially this time, Meadow City, especially send eminent speaker. So he will explain about the ecosystem around London. So in Japan, we put more emphasis on ecosystem around Tokyo and around Osaka, around Japan. So we will collaborate more with holding clusters. So typical one is London. Next, please. And also, what is now going on? Tomorrow, especially tomorrow's afternoon, we prepare this type of session. If people want to know what is now going on, please join this session. Of course, we translator we will prepare, so you can easily catch the information in Japan. Next, please. Important message. Who know? So I think you know who. Neil. Oh yeah. So she's Stephanie. So this year she's not come from Germany, and Prasi, she come? No, next year. Anyway, so we will restart World Bank. This is important information, and so this song list, please remember, and please check YouTube, and please sing. So please join. It's okay. These 5 songs, okay? You can join this event. So this event is evening of second day, okay? Please join us. This is my important message. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for our introduction. And, you know, we need to prepare to singing. So, actually, the LinkJ is also have a booth and sessions at the Bio Japan. So please join us if you have a time. And the session, they will be starting at 1 p.m. of the last day in the exhibition hall. Anyway, let's invite the first speaker, Ms. Yuka Morita, Wallonia Export Investment Agency, Kingdom of Belgium, please.
Thank you very much for introduction, and thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Yuka Morita. I'm Economic and Commercial Attaché in Wallonia Export Investment Agency in Tokyo. So life science sector is very, very important sector for Belgium. In recent years, we have received many Japanese investments in life science area. Very recently, actually last month, Takeda Pharmaceutical announced about 300 million euro investment to construct a new state-of-art production facility for plasma-derived therapy and net zero carbon emission warehouse in Lessing. The health biotech industry accounts for 80% of the national activity. Belgium is a second European leader in clinical trials for new therapies. Belgium was a key player in the development of the large-scale production of vaccine during the COVID-19 pandemic. Not only Takeda Pharmaceutical, but many other big global life science companies are invested in Belgium. Janssen, Bio, GSK, UCB, Pfizer, Sanofi, etc. And also emerging technologies such as Catalent, Novartis, Argenx, Etios, Lonza, and Galapagos Universal have established in Belgium. And they all enjoy quite complete ecosystem in Belgium. Belgium is a biopharmaceutical innovation hub in the center of Europe. We have 2 clusters in Belgium. Flanders Bio is a cluster in the Flemish region that speak in north part of Belgium, and Wallon region, from Wallon region, BioWing is a cluster in the French-speaking part of Belgium. This year at the Bio Japan, we have 14 companies and organizations. And from the Flemish region, co-exhibitors are Academic Labs, Adamado Bioscience, Aldena, BISC Global, EOS Campus, MRM Health, Newton Biocapital Partners, Rejuvenate Biomed, Remind, Flanders Bio. From Walloon region, we have Aseptic Technology, Kaneka Eurogentic, IT4IP, and Synapse. Since I am in charge of promotion of Wallonia, I would like to explain a little bit more about co-exhibitors from Walloon region. Aseptic Technology is a manufacturer of the innovative aseptic production equipment for pharmaceutical industry. Its equipment is designed to provide safer and easier sterility assurance for aseptic filling operation. The technology is widely used in regenerative medicine and other new advanced therapies. Aseptic Technology is created in 2002 as a spin-off of GSK Biologicals. Kaneka Eurogentic is an FDA-inspired inspected contract development and manufacturing organization of biopharmaceutical for clinical trials market supply. Using the latest technology for fermentation, purification, and quality control, Kaneka Eurogentic provide GMP cell banks and biological drug substance for clients around the world. The company is created as a spin-off of University of Liège 1985. IT4IP manufactures drug-etched polymer membrane filters made from polycarbonate, polyester, and polyimide raw films. They have almost 40 years of experience in drug etching technology. Applications are various fields such as healthcare, biotechnology, electronics, etc. IT4IP offer large-scale in-house manufacturing and also tailor the membrane filters for cost and performance optimization. IT4IP was founded in the basis of technology from Catholic University of Louvain. Synapse generate innovative antibodies against poor immunogenic compounds and complex membrane antigens. Synapse offers a generation of anti-drug antibodies, surrogates, or therapeutic apps as a one-stop shop solution from antigen design to gram-scale antibody manufacturing. Synapse was founded in 2015 as a spin-off of Catholic University of Louvain. Unfortunately, Synapse couldn't make it for the presentation today. For detail, I hope you can visit our booth at the BioJapan booth number C9. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Ms. Morita. Okay, let's move to the next one. The next speaker is Mr. Hiroshi Iwamura, representative of German Trade and Invest Tokyo.
Thank you very much for kind introduction, Dr. Takahashi. We, Germany Trade and Invest, would like to express our appreciation to LinkJ for organizing this event. My name is Hiroshi Iwamura. I'm the director of Japan at Germany Trade and Invest. It's my pleasure to introduce Germany Trade and Invest for both the attractiveness of German market for life science industry and Health Made in Germany, the export initiative for the German healthcare industry, together with German Pavilion at BioJapan 2022. Let me introduce you to Germany Trade and Invest, abbreviation GTAI. GTAI is Economic Development Agency of the Federal Republic of Germany. With 60 offices throughout the world, GTAI promotes Germany as a business location and assist foreign companies setting up in Germany and support German companies setting up in foreign market. GTAI industry expert identify future themes that position Germany as an attractive business and technology location for international businesses. Our experts support specific investment projects from the decision-making process to market entry strategy to locating to Germany with extensive range of services for foreign investors. As a federal government organization, our services are completely free of charges. Germany offers the largest market for healthcare and life sciences products within Europe. Both market demand and location factors make it a preferred choice for many international companies preparing to expand their footprint. Allow me to introduce key numbers about German healthcare market very briefly. Germany has about 83 million inhabitants, and health insurance is mandatory. Annual health care spending in 2019 was 400 billion euro. That accounts for about 11.7% of German GDP. Germany's growing market are driven by various global trends. Social development like demographic change and technological trends such as digitization, some key examples. Science and innovation conducted in Germany frequently leads to commercialization of cutting-edge technologies. Health Made in Germany is the export initiative for the German healthcare industry. Set up by the German Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action and implemented by GTAI, which operate this task by providing market insight, introductory services, and networking platforms, including trade event at home and abroad. We publish market briefs, in-depth market studies, and company directories of the German healthcare industry and its range of sectors. We take part in leading healthcare trade fairs all over the world, organize networking events, and enjoy ongoing dialogue and exchange with international health policy makers. We provide free access to 3,500 plus German healthcare companies with our online database. A detailed company profile and direct contact information help international business to identify potential suppliers and partners in Germany. German Pavilion is the name of the official joint stand of German companies at trade fairs worldwide. As an exhibitor, German companies present their products and services under the Made in Germany brand. At BioJapan 2022 at Pacifico Yokohama from tomorrow, German Pavilion offers detailed information on the participating German companies and the product on display in English and in Japanese. We are focusing on providing new value by business partnering of industry, academia, and government, which is not limited to Japan, but also from overseas. These are the exhibitors of German Pavilion at BioJapan 2022. Ascenium is a technology transfer partner to 26 European life science research institutes, offering access to diagnostic and therapeutic licensing opportunities, tools, and materials. Baden-Württemberg International is a central location marketing agency for business and science in and for Baden-Württemberg. Bayern International, a company from the state of Bavaria, support marketing of Bavaria as a business location. Berlin Partner for Business and Technology GmbH provides information about the life science location, Berlin and Brandenburg. BioM coordinates the Bavarian Biotechnology Network and manages the biotech and health cluster in Munich. Eurofins Bioskin is a full-service clinical research organization specialized in dermatology and aesthetics. Biogenes GmbH is a top-level service provider in the field of challenging custom antibody and immunoassay development. BCO is a leading expert bringing lead candidates from natural sources to clinical phases. Iris Biotech provide high-quality products for peptide synthesis, linkerology, drug delivery, and life sciences. Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action. On behalf of the ministry, GTAI implements German Pavilion and provide general information. Health Capital Berlin-Brandenburg is a leading healthcare industry cluster and support networking and technology transfer. Biotech Rabbit offers the highest quality molecular biology enzymes and antibody for diagnostic companies. Sirion Biotech GmbH is a leading developer of viral vector technologies. Cyomix, enabling precision medicine by innovative protein biomarker panels. TissueS is a Berlin-based biotechnology company who has developed a unique multi-organ tip platform for in vitro preclinical toxicity testing and disease modeling. Pan Biotech is a German-based company manufacturing Sera, media, serum-free systems, biological reagent, and other cell culture products. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact us. See you at the BioJapan 2022 then. Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Mr. Yamura. So let's move to the next one. The next session, the session of Medicity and the following session will be combined. And now I can hand over to Ms. Ivana Poparic, please.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Ivana Poparic and I work with MedCity, which is a London life sciences cluster organization. And I'm joined by my colleague, Helen.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm from the Northern Health Science Alliance in the north of England, a life science cluster organization just like MedCity.
So we have divided our talk into 3 sections. We're going to give you an overview of UK life sciences ecosystem. Then we're going to talk a bit more in detail about London, and then about the northern region of England. So without further ado, let's see if this works. Oh, it works. Excellent. So this is a slide that is here just to show you the complexity of the UK life sciences ecosystem. I actually nicked it from our colleagues from National Institute for Health Research, and it shows you that during the development of any type of life sciences technology in the UK, there is support and organizations available who work with industry to bring the new products into the market. So whether you need the expertise, whether you need to do the clinical trials, whether you need to access the patient data and samples, or you need to analyze your existing data, and also if you need funding, there are organizations across the country that can help you do that. One thing you will learn when you come to the UK is we really love very long names and almost longer acronyms. So the organizations like MedCity and NHSA help you navigate the system and help you find the right partner in each region. Oh, there it is. So in terms of what is hot in the UK, our government publishes quite regularly the health priorities for our own public healthcare system. Here you can see the NHS long-term plan, which was published pre-COVID, but actually included quite a lot of themes that are still very much important. I'm not going to go through the details because since then we had a couple of other publications. And the last one was by Public Health England last year. And you can see that some of the themes in blue here, like obesity, mental health, and pediatrics are reoccurring through all of the government strategy documents. So why would you come into the UK, whether you're a Japanese company or one of our European colleagues here? There is quite a few reasons. First is the excellence in both basic research and in the clinical development. We are a country that has a large number of top universities in the world, as well as medical research centers. When it comes to the healthcare system, we have NHS is still the world's largest fully integrated public healthcare system. It's accessible to all of the people who are residents in the UK, which is now 66 million patients that you can access. UK is also one of the world superpowers, particularly in genomics. We have a very high level of government investment, which follows by the investment from the public sector. We're currently the third country in the world in terms of citations for the genomics. And through the organizations like NIHR and BioResource, you can also access a lot of genomics data and data in general. And finally, when it comes to cell and gene therapy, we do a lot of research. Until COVID, we were the #1 country in doing clinical trials after the US. And cell and gene therapy manufacturing is still the strongest in Europe. I'm going to use a couple of next slides to give you some information about the collaborations we already have with Japan. So as you will know, both Japan and UK have a very large government funding focused on the R&D. We are actually, Japan is second and UK is the third country in the world in terms of the government investment in particular. And when it comes to the exchange between the UK and Japan, UK is the 4th market currently for Japanese life sciences investment. We're also the 4th largest partner of Japan in terms of the scientific collaboration, both in the value of the projects and the number of the projects that we do jointly. And it doesn't surprise you then probably that when it comes to that joint work, we have a very good track record. So at the moment, UK and Japan have the highest impact in the research when it comes to collaborations between top 20 countries in the world. There is quite a lot of joint working between the agencies. So since 2018, Cell and Gene Catapult in the UK had signed a memorandum of understanding with the Japanese Society for Regenerative Medicine. And the aim of that collaboration is to promote regenerative medicine and cell and gene therapies development in both countries by doing exchange. Another known collaboration is between our Bioindustry Association and Forum for Innovative Regenerative Medicine in Japan. Since 2019, the two agencies have opened a directory of all of the companies in both countries that work in cell and gene therapy to help people find the partners in the other geography. And the final one I'm going to mention, and these are not the only ones, is the collaboration in terms of funding on the government side. So Medical Research Council in the UK and a Japanese agency for medical R&D have started joint funding programs since 2017. We had so far calls for cell and gene and regenerative medicine, one for infectious diseases, and the last call was last year for neuroscience and dementia. Talking about the collaboration on the university level, there is a very long-standing collaboration between University College London and Osaka University. They actually started working together in 2008, and the aim is to promote public health research and increase the research capacity in both countries. A slightly different example is between Gamma Delta Therapeutics, which is a T-cell immunotherapy company, which is a spin-out from King's College London. They started a collaboration with Takeda in 2017, and the collaboration went so well that Takeda acquired Gamma Delta. And the last example I'm going to mention here is a partnership between Imperial College London and Shionogi, which started a couple of years ago, and they're focusing on trying to find the mechanisms of infectious diseases that are very difficult to study. So trying to promote an area that has not been receiving a lot of attention, a lot of funding so far. So if we move back to London and what we do within our own region, as I said, MedCity is a cluster organization, and we promote life sciences in London. How we do that is that we work in partnerships with the 4 London universities that funded us, and we connect private industry, whether it's from the UK or from overseas, with our NHS partners, with charities in the UK, and with the research institutes in London and region around us. So why would you need an organization to do that? The reason is that London ecosystem is very rich and very complex. If you look at the middle of the screen, in terms of research and academia, we have 4 universities that are among top 50 universities in the world, and that's not counting Oxford and Cambridge. So you can see our partners in the bottom: King's, UCL, Imperial, and Queen Mary. Among those 4 universities, there is a lot of different research centers and a lot of opportunities to work on any type of technology development. If you look at the left-hand side, in terms of the healthcare system, London alone is more than 8 million patients. It goes to 20 million patients when you think about specialist services that are offered to the population in the region. There is 140 of those specialist services in the city, and there is around 40 NHS trusts, so independent public healthcare providers in the city. I already mentioned some of the genomics capability. UK also is very invested into health data research, and there is a lot of bioinformatics initiatives, both publicly funded and private ones. And finally, in terms of the clinical trials, half of the studies that are done in the UK as a whole are actually done in London. either in London alone or London and elsewhere. We had, before COVID, annually around 5,000 new trials opening every year in the city. And before the COVID, we would recruit around 40 to 50,000 people. During the pandemic, those numbers have went up exponentially. And then if you think about what else is there, because it's a capital, there is a government and public sector available. There are government departments you're going to need if you're coming into the UK, regulators, also funding agencies. And a lot of funding in the UK is available to the overseas companies, primarily if they work with organizations that are already in the UK, but sometimes also directly. And then there is a wealth of research charities that both provide funding, but also access to a patient population. And then finally, industry. So in the UK at the moment, there is 5,500 companies registered. More than half of them are in London. So there is a wealth of industry partners that you can also consider. So why would you come to London? Few simple reasons. First is the science. So you have in a small geographical area, 6 universities that are among the leading ones in the world. There is nowhere else in the world where you have so much of talent available within such a small region. So 5 out of top 40 life sciences universities are in the Golden Triangle. That means 50,000 new life sciences graduates a year that you can access and employ. There is access to 8 million patients, which I already mentioned. And then also there is a high level of government investment. But what is specifically interesting about London, there is a lot of private investment available, especially for early stage companies. So what do we do in the city? MedCity supports companies in any technology and medical indication area. But what we see as our strengths and what we really focus on through the programs we offer are 3 things. First is the diagnostics. And within MedCity, we run a diagnostics grow hub to help companies find the partners they can collaborate with within the system. And we also offer funding to the early stage companies. Then there is the cell and gene and advanced therapies. We have actually hosted and founded the London Advanced Therapies Network, and this has now become a national network, and Helen is going to give you more details about that. And then the third area is data, AI, and digital health, and we promote accelerators in this space that help companies in London to develop the technology and get into the market. So for those companies that are coming from overseas, there are a number of programs available through MedCity's work. First is that we act as a landing pad. So we help companies set up whether they need to register a company, whether they need to get a visa, and that this is becoming an issue now also for the Europeans, whether they need to find the right labs or office space to locate in the city. We also work quite a lot with those involved in the real estate, and we help both organizations to find the existing labs, but also we advise those that are building the new infrastructure for R&D. We do a lot of work in international engagement. We lead so the UK delegation to the BioJapan this year is led by MedCity, and we've been doing this for a number of years now. And we also organize a lot of events with LinkJ, with JBA and other partners to promote the collaboration between our 2 nations. I mentioned some of the programs that are available for specific technologies. So there's Diagnostic Grow Hub for small and medium-sized companies looking to validate their technology. A Digital Health London Accelerator, which is a 1-year program that helps companies navigate the system, find the right type of evidence, and get into the market. And Advanced Therapies Network, which you're going to hear about later. We have also funding available both through the small grants we provide and through our investment hub, which includes more than 400 investors that work in London. And finally, we do a lot of work with Japan and with our partners. We organize matchmaking sessions together with organizations like LEAD-J. We lead the delegations, and we help companies and research organizations to set up collaborations between the two countries. And we basically provide the front door into our ecosystem. So I'm gonna leave it to Helena.
Lovely, thank you, Ivana, and hello again. So as Ivana there has focused on London after introducing the whole of the UK, I'll just spend a few minutes focusing on the north of England's ecosystem, and then I would like to wrap up on behalf of us both to explain how life science cluster organisations in the UK are coming together to support the UK as a nation on the global market. So to start with, we are a membership-based organisation. We represent 10 universities, 10 National Health Service trusts, and all 4 of the academic health science networks across the north of England. The academic health science networks are the organisations with responsibility for supporting adoption of technology into our care pathways. So they sit at a later stage than the early science of our universities, for example. Our role, similarly to MedCity, is to support UK life science globally. We like to make introductions to our members for industry and academic partnerships, particularly showcasing the strengths of the north of England and driving better outcomes for patients and our economy. Our key strengths in the programs of work we support are advanced therapies, those being the cell and gene therapies that are regulated in Europe as advanced therapy medicinal products, so specifically around those cell and gene therapies. We also have a strong program in diagnostics and medtech support, including digital. We have a strand of work that looks at data and AI, supporting AI algorithm developers with data expertise. Our mental health program also looks to support technology developers, particularly in digital solutions to mental health problems. And then our last 2 programs around health inequalities and healthy aging are predominantly social science based, so looking into the population health issues in the north of England particularly. So for a focus, I've chosen to showcase our 7 NHS trusts out of the 10 hospital trusts we have in our membership. And these are the 7 who've elected to work together in a consortia at the moment, piloting work internationally and looking proactively for collaborative opportunities. At the moment, the IIA is the Israeli Innovation Authority, just as MedCity leads for Japan in our partnership. The NHSA has led and developed a relationship over 5 or 6 years with Israel, the British Embassy in Tel Aviv, and also the Israeli Innovation Authority. And it's now reached a point where we have a memorandum of understanding was signed this year at Biomed Israel, specifically where they will provide some funding to their SMEs and their companies to work with one of our 7 NHS trusts in co-developing their technology, whatever it may need, whether it's replicating some clinical evidence in our NHS care pathways, maybe developing some economic case that will help to have them adopted into the NHS. So as you can see here, the 7 trusts means in total 32 hospitals. Each trust manages a number of hospitals. And in particular, our mental health colleagues are at Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber, where there are 200 community service locations. So it offers a great opportunity for various studies to be conducted at scale. And the important thing really being it's that connectivity. A company can perhaps land in Leeds and then expand and do a multi-centre trial with another of the partners in that group. I just want to very quickly go through the 7 and what their areas of interest are, because they each offer a different opportunity for partnering, a different specialty. In Newcastle, they pioneer mitochondrial donation in fertility treatments and also CAR T cell therapies. And they host these particular expert centres in healthy aging, in vitro diagnostics from the National Institute for Health Research, and also a biomedical research centre for aging and long-term conditions. At Sheffield, we can support with medtech design and manufacturing, with advanced therapies, sports and well-being, and neuroscience, in particular things like dementia and even spinal injuries, for example. There's expertise there to support those sorts of technology developments. And again, you can see the 3 host organisations supported at Sheffield. At Hull, they're pioneering AI for stroke diagnosis and treatment in particular. They're, much as the rest of the North, in fact, it's an area of urban and rural populations, so you can get patient cohorts and patient enrolment for a number of different health inequalities, heart disease, cancer, diabetes. There are research centres based there because of the population and prevalence of these conditions. RDASH, as I mentioned, is our mental health trust in this programme. They're leading the network in mental health. And just looking towards the bottom of the slide there, it's psychotherapy and physiology research, including burnout prevention is their specialty. And they also work with prisons and schools, some slightly non-conventional settings, if there's technologies applicable in those settings. Across to the west in Liverpool, they lead the Northern Health and Neck Cancer Alliance, and also the Centre for Clinical Eye Research, so quite niche conditions there, particularly around the head and neck. There's some rare conditions and expertise in that network. And their focus is on genomics, AI precision medicine within those fields. And to Manchester, one of the largest providers in Europe, and have pioneered multiple first in the world treatments, including a number with Japanese pharma companies and hosting multiple national centres of excellence. I think so much to say there, we could only leave it at a very high level. And I think it's lastly for this slide, we come on to the Leeds teaching hospitals. Similarly to Manchester in scale, they are building 2 new digital first hospitals, one of which will be for paediatrics. So they're very interested in working with companies with digital solutions to unmet clinical needs in their populations. And again, hosting multiple national centres and a Leeds Israel Health Tech Gateway for supporting SMEs across the UK. And I want to conclude moving on to that life science cluster approach we have in the UK. So this report was published together with MedCity and the Northern Ireland Life Science Cluster, Harani. The quote there is from Professor Lechler of the Academy of Medical Science. So recognising the value of clusters, maintaining the UK as a global powerhouse, and the hubs of research playing an essential role in delivering the UK's world-leading research and translating benefits for society. That report is accessible online if anyone would like to read more. And I want to conclude with an example of this collaboration and how life science clusters are supporting the advanced therapies community in particular in the UK. So this is the network that we have developed since around 2019 in the north of England. You can see some of our member organisations on the left, but importantly, we are a network of networks. Those central organisations, the Northern Alliance and IMATCH below it, are the advanced therapies treatment centres, of which there are 3 in the UK, 2 of which are in the north, and also London Advanced Therapies in London. And they are very much in the space of moving from late stage clinical trials into patient delivery, and have been instrumental in developing the evidence that's allowed things like CAR T therapies to be approved for use in the UK now. And then on the right, we've got some of the stakeholders who are also active in advanced therapies. So the National Horizon Centre can provide lab space and support for companies to do developmental work. CPI in Darlington in the Northeast is the Centre for Process Innovation. They can help with processing within the pathway of technology development. And the NHS Blood and Transplant is a national organisation, but they have a new stem cell therapy research and indeed gene research as well going on out of our Barnsley Centre for NHS Blood and Transplant. And then finally, just looking up into the top right, it's the Scottish partners. There were existing alliances in the Northern Alliance between the north of England and Scotland, and the community very much wanted to keep that together so we can connect into Scotland also. Thank you. So importantly, as Ivana mentioned, what London Advanced Therapies succeeded in doing in the last year was getting some Research England funding for another year of work to expand their activity in London into a network that was UK-wide. And you can see there some of the organisations I've already mentioned, Harani in Northern Ireland, SULSA and Scottish Enterprise are the Scottish Life Science Cluster organisations, MedCity, I think, yes, towards the bottom, and ourselves, I think we're in pale text across the centre. And what we've been able to do, as those organisations in the red boxes there, is work together based on that life sciences report you saw, work together to support and effectively brand, I suppose, our networks from the London Advanced Therapy Network and programmes of support for industry and academic research into some regional networks and clusters as well. So it's giving us that more UK-focused opportunity to look for connectivity where we can work together and support the whole of UK advanced therapies into the global stage. Yesterday, we were at the European Society, not me personally, I can't time travel, but yesterday we were at the European Society of Gene and Cell Therapy with an important satellite event on behalf of UK Advanced Therapies. And we were able to showcase not only from the north of England and Scotland, but also our colleagues in London and the Southwest, and in fact, Hirani in Northern Ireland. We were able to showcase a number of examples of commercialization successes. We had investors there in the audience, and we created opportunities through networking for those investors to hear more about the opportunities for future investment in this area. And just finally to conclude, back into a broad perspective on how we work in partnership internationally. So we've got some funding separately from the advanced therapies. We've had some funding from the Research England Development Fund to work in partnership with MedCity as the NHSA for the last 3 years. We're in the third year of this funding now. So together we're looking to build trusted local relationships with highly innovative regions to leverage the scale and coordination of that membership we can offer. We look to build research links between academic institutions. We look for attracting top global talent to engage the National Health Service early and bring investment to the UK. And also very importantly, to learn from other health and life science systems, such as we're hearing today on this global symposium. Our global activity is mentioned. I've already talked about the Israel program, the Japanese relationship that MedCity's led for some time, also South Korea led by MedCity, and then some of the other countries there in Canada, Spain, Singapore, and Taiwan have all had different program-led opportunities for collaboration. And finally, we are present, led by MedCity as a UK delegation at BioJapan on the stand B46. And together we've got, how many partners? 7 partners? 7 partners from the UK who are all there present and interested to speak to people. London-based organisations. We've got the National Institute for Health Research here, Cancer Research UK, and a couple of companies and the university. So Ivana might be better at this part just to explain who you can see there.
So there is a number of UK universities that are represented. So if you come to our stand, we're very happy to make the introductions. There's also government funding agency. There is a Cancer Research UK, the biggest charity in the world after NIH, and obviously our 2 organizations. Thank you.
So let's move to the next session. I'd like to invite our next group, General Delegation of Quebec in Tokyo, Mr. Mathieu Dumont, please.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be here with you all this afternoon. My name is Mathieu Dumont. I'm from Quebec province in Canada. I'm the Director of Economic Affairs here in Tokyo. I'm very grateful for the invitation by Ling-J. So thank you for the opportunity today to talk about our ecosystem in Quebec, one of the most active provinces in life science in Canada, as well as Mila and Frédéric, who will be joining me a little bit later, the world's largest academic research center in machine learning based in Montreal. So just to start briefly about the Quebec ecosystem in life science, Canada, as you might know, is a life science powerhouse, and the province of Quebec is a leader. Canada is the 4th largest scientific publisher in the world, and we have the presence of the 10 largest biopharmaceutical companies in the world, and 6 of them are based in Quebec. Montreal, which is the largest city in Quebec, accounts for nearly 30% of all of the life sciences and the health tech jobs in Canada. And we have also the 6th most concentrated life science jobs in North America. In Quebec, we have also the a complete value chain from research to commercial offers, with over 1,000 companies and 46,000 jobs, almost half of them being in biopharmaceuticals. We have developed a cutting-edge expertise in many sectors, such as biomanufacturing, digital health, big data and AI, as well as precise medicine and genomics. Of course, government support for a industry as innovative as life science and health tech is crucial. And in order to thrive, the government of Quebec is fully behind its companies and researchers. At the beginning of the year 2022, we have updated our 3 years strategy in life science, and our goals are pretty clear, which are to attract $4 billion Canadian dollars of investment in Quebec in the next 3 years, increase the presence of Quebec companies in local and international supply chains. For example, a couple of months ago, we have announced an investment of $180 million from Moderna in Laval, which is near Montreal, to build a new facility for upcoming vaccines. The government also invests massively in new sectors, such as mRNA, AI applied to diagnostics and health, precision medicines, and as well as vaccines. We have more than 300 life science and health tech research organizations in Quebec. And most of them have developed an expertise in several sectors, such as oncology, neuroscience, precision medicine, and of course, big data and AI. Quebec is a hub for artificial intelligence applied to life science in North America, with over $3 billion in AI investment in Quebec alone since the last 6 years, with specialized training in AI in collaboration with university hospitals and with partnerships with global leaders such as Novartis, AstraZeneca, and so on. To top it off, Montreal is also the headquarters of Scale AI, the supercluster that is for the supply chain in Canada, which is based in Quebec. Finally, Mila, that brings a community of over 600 plus researchers and graduates in Montreal in order to move forward the whole AI community, and has become since then the world's largest academic research center in machine learning. So without further ado, I will let Frederick explain you more about Mila and his recent successes.
Well, thank you, Mathieu, for the introduction. My name is Frederick Lauren. I'm a Senior Director of Partnership at Mila. Like Mathieu said, and I think he needs to refresh his slide, Mila is the largest AI academic research lab with almost 1,000 researchers now. Mila was actually founded by Dr. Yoshua Benjo in 1993 as a University of Montreal AI academic research lab. And when Yoshua started, he had 3 students and 1 computer. 25, almost 30 years ago, Mila will top probably in the next year 1,000 researchers specialized in AI, in machine learning and deep learning and reinforcement learning. Part of this was actually possible thanks to some of the funding by both the Quebec and Canadian government to create Mila, the nonprofit organization, and federate all of the researchers of all of the universities in Quebec. Mathieu did mention about the life science ecosystem in Montreal and Quebec in particular. There was a ranking in the fall of 2021 by a British media firm of the different AI ecosystems in the world. And Canada ranked number 4 in the world with 42 million people. And the Quebec government also asked to have a specific ranking for the province. And the province of Quebec, with only 8 million people, ranks number 7 in the world in terms of AI ecosystem, just after Germany. And most of the ranking reputation is based on the very high quality of AI research that has been going on not only at Mila, but also in the rest of Canada for almost 30 years now. So this is a list of some of our partners. When I started at Mila a little over 4 years ago, we had essentially 6 or 7 companies with whom we were collaborating. Most of them, the large technology company like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, IBM. But we added a lot of partners in the last 4 years, and most of them, about a third of our partners, are actually active in the life science sector. You'll recognize some of the names like Novartis, Amgen, Roche, Genentech, AstraZeneca, but also a host of startups and scale-ups active in the life science sector. If you look a little bit more specifically at some of the areas where those partners are active, well, some of the large pharma are also active in the drug discovery space, and we have a relatively high concentration of pure play companies that are active in the drug development space, drug discovery space. Most of it because some of the new AI techniques, the new generative models have made a great stride in the last few years. And some of those models are able to now suggest much better candidates, much better molecule candidates, so that company can test them and hopefully develop medicine much faster. So out of the 100 professors that we have, this is a sample of some of them that are active in life science sector. Anything from statistical genetics, genomics, imaging, neuropsychiatry, and even brain-machine interface. These professors are applying some of the most recent AI techniques in those fields. And yeah, Joshua, our scientific director, is also very active in the drug development, drug discovery space. How do we collaborate with companies? So we have our partnership program, which in practice is a little bit like a membership with almost 1,000 researchers, 500 research events going on a yearly basis, and a new 90,000 square feet facility in the heart of Montreal. Companies can, for a certain fee, become a Mila member and get privileged access to talent, the ecosystem, and the brand. We also do collaborative research with academia. Most of our researchers will insist on some form of open science, open framework, leveraging data like the public data like the UK Biobank, for example. And if data is a bit sensitive and cannot be shared, we have our own team of internal scientists, all with PhDs and postdocs in machine learning, to do applied research with companies. And we recently launched what we call our AI demo for SMEs. We got funding from the federal government to do those 2-3 months iteration with Canadian SMEs. And this is the last slide that I wanna show you. This is one example of a success story. A company called By Us, who is based in the UK, actually became a Mila member in 2019. They also rented a space at Mila for their researchers to have a full-time seats at Mila. From there, they leveraged some of the government program to do a collaboration with some of our professors. Some of these programs can fund and finance between 50 and even 85% of the cost of the research, which is very, very generous. They were then able to hire intern students to work for them, which then became full-time employees. And this led to the publication of two papers with Mila researchers. And we're actually just submitting some new projects in the next few months. So this is a good example of a UK-based company who decided to open an office and leverage some of the possibilities to collaborate with Mila.
So Mathieu and Frederick, thank you for your presentations. Now we are moving on to the next session. Next speaker is Mr. Toshihiro Matsuda, Head of Investment Promotion, Swiss Business Hub Japan.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Toshi Matsuda. I'm head of business hub of the Swiss Embassy of Switzerland in Japan. Thank you very much for Dr. Takahashi for hosting this wonderful event, and also Dr. Tsukamoto for co-hosting, supporting this event, and also BioJapan. Here, I would like to introduce you about a little bit about Swiss bio-industry and life science ecosystem, and also investment environment in Switzerland. As you know, Switzerland is a country of the life science. There are many global famous life science companies like Roche and Novartis, and also centered by the Roche and Novartis. There are lots of the ecosystem right now in Switzerland to be open innovation together with the companies like in Japan. So our section, Swiss Business Hub, is promoting Japanese investment into Switzerland, also open innovation for Japanese multinational companies to open innovation with the Swiss research institution, the startups, and those kind of ecosystem. So for Japanese companies, we promoting industries, especially like strong industries like life science, also ICT. Recently, blockchains becomes a very popular and very strong in Switzerland, and also financial industries, together with the blockchain. Also energy, and also microtechnology and micromechanics. As you know, the Switzerland watch industry is very strong. So recently, the center of the watch industry, we promote Industry 4.0, smart factory technologies. So yeah. Also, new technology for like agriculture and the food is also our focus. So we have several institutions to promote innovations in Switzerland. My organization is belongs to the one of the Switzerland Innovation System, which is the federal project together with the cantonal, the local governments, and also industries, joined the project. So right now there are 6 main parks in Switzerland. And each parks, there are very specialized technologies and research is going on. And for the life science point of view, there are several very strong parks. One most famous one is Park Basel, which is located to the border of Germany and France, which is located northwest of Switzerland. As you already in the Basel, there are the famous companies like Roche and Novartis, and centered with those companies, there are ecosystems, and also very strong universities like Basel universities. They are also ready, also very strong for the life science industry and bio industry. So they are welcoming a Japanese investment. And other parks like Park Innovare, which is also located near the German border, which is the very famous for the proton therapy. So they are also welcome for the technology partners for those fields. This is the picture of the Park Basel, which is open just last year. And one interesting point of this Park Basel is there is also a location inside of the Novartis. We call it Novartis campus. In the Novartis campus, companies like Japanese companies can research together with the researchers of the Novartis. So there is a lot of merit for for those companies who want to have an open innovation in the Novartis campus. So I'm going to explain later on, but several Japanese companies are already in the Park Basel to have the open innovation with the Swiss ecosystem. So Park Innovare is famous for the proton therapy. Here, from here, I would like to explain an example of the Japanese investment into Switzerland. First one is a Santen Pharma. Santen Pharma is specialized in eye care business, which is located in Osaka. They recently opened up the European headquarters in Geneva. And there, yes, from there, they operate the business in Europe and also the research R&D activities from Switzerland. Second one is the Yokogawa Electric. They recently opened up a Bio Center of Excellence in Basel, which is, as I explained, which is the center of the life science industry in Switzerland. From there, they try to watch the technology movement of Europe, and also from there they try to invest into the interesting companies. And third one is Lacton Medical. They merged Swiss top level medical technology companies, diffuser companies recently. And they set the company as a European Swiss headquarters. So from Bio Japan, we're going to have the 14 exhibitors from Switzerland. We have most of them startups and interesting startups from Switzerland. So please join in the Swiss pavilion from tomorrow at the Swiss Bio Japan 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Matsuda, for sharing a very interesting ecosystem situation in Switzerland. So the next group is Ontario, Canada. This session includes multiple presentations. I think I'm going to hand over to Christian House. Okay.
Good evening. And thank you very much for coming this evening. I've been warned I have 90 seconds because we have multiple presentations. So I'll only say two quick things. Ontario is a fast emerging center of global life sciences, but it's the second largest tech cluster in North America. And the two of those make an incredibly powerful combination. Our companies that are presenting here are not all technology focused, but many of them are. And the startup culture that has developed in Ontario and the tech corridors, we call it, across Southern Ontario, is becoming more and more powerful every day. We look forward to hearing the presentations by the companies that are joining us from Ontario this evening and hosting you if you have the opportunity to visit Ontario in the near future. Thank you very much. よろしくお願いします。
Hi, I'm Mel Barsky. I'm from the Center for Aging and Brain Health Innovation based out of Toronto, Canada. Thanks for having us here. Appreciate it. What I'd like to talk about, I guess I'll go on to our next slide here for Center for Aging. Because my Japanese isn't that good, I've got a video that will explain a little bit about why we do and what we do.
I think you took those already today, Peter. And that's us in Florida. Yeah, that's us. It's nighttime. Come back to bed. Your dad's okay. Please don't worry. It's just that this is harder than I expected. I don't know if I could do this on my own. He's been helping me around the house, just like you suggested. It's really working. There's your daughter, Peter, my love. See?
It's nighttime. Come back to bed.
And exhale. For this session, do your best to keep your attention focused on how it feels to breathe in every moment.
That just shows a few of the samples of some of the medical health tech, age tech devices that we work with at CABI to help advance quality of life for aging adults and especially people living with dementia. The reason why over 700,000 Canadians currently live with dementia, and by 2031, that's expected to double to 1.4 million. Similar kinds of numbers you'll see growing around the world. Canadians over age 65 account for almost half of our national healthcare spending as of just a few years ago, and that's expected to rise significantly. More than 76,000 Canadians are diagnosed with a form of dementia each and every day. And the cost of direct healthcare for Canadian dementia patients is $10 billion a year, combined with both direct and indirect costs that already exceeds $30 billion. More care costs are borne by informal and family caregivers. So a lot of the solutions we look for is to help people to age in place and have assistive devices and tools that help family members. And pretty soon, Canada is going to join those super aged nations around the world. Japan, really one of those ones that you consider a super aging society of having more than 30% of your population over the age of 60. So what does CABI do? We were established about 7 years ago as a solutions accelerator, looking for those devices to help foster innovation in the space in Canada and working with partners around the world to look for solutions that help in healthcare settings to redefine the future of aging. Our mission to accelerate the development, validation, commercialization, dissemination, and adoption of innovative products, services, and best practices to support brain health and aging. The areas of focus that we look at, as mentioned, to help people age at home, age in their place, the setting of their choice, to help with caregiver support, care navigation and coordination, cognitive health programs, and also at financial health and wellness programs. We have a number of programs where we will fund the early stage development by a front of line care worker who has an idea they've always wanted to try out to create a solution. To our I2P2 stands for Industry Innovation Partnership Program, a program that helps to validate solutions, to discover and adopt, which helps to try out a solution in a healthcare setting, to our MC² program, which stands for Mentorship, Capital, and Continuation. That's for growth capital for sort of pre-seed and seed stage companies to help them accomplish a certain business milestone to really help them grow and scale and get to market. So it's much more than just the research. It's helping those research ideas get right through to the stage where they're commercialized and help them get into market. I won't go through each of those programs because my time up here has been shortened. But what I'd like to talk about is, that didn't come back. Some of our other programs that help on a global basis. We have a platform called LEAP, which is a program where we're looking for creating a virtual innovation community of older adults and caregivers to share experiences, to validate new technologies, and to provide insights to innovators. We have a lot of innovators that come to us with these programs and ideas. What we hope to accomplish with this online platform is to allow end users, older adults, to look at these solutions and give some insight back to the innovators to say whether it will really work. And we're looking to grow this to at least 1 million plus users from around the world. The value-added capabilities that we as a solutions accelerator help provide. We help with product development, clinical validation, paid trials. We help with customer acquisition. We help to market to our whole ecosystem of partners to improve brand awareness of companies through our conferences. Every year in March, we have a CABI Summit. And through our acceleration services, where we have over 150 trial sites across North America, which we try solutions at, and we fund those trials. We have over 120 health coaches or mentors that help companies with specific questions and solutions. And we have a venture community of over 1,500 partners. And we have over 1,000 benefits or discounted services that we offer to the companies that enter our programs. Let's skip through some of these. Our investor community, again, it's global. If you are a fundor or investor looking to possibly even partner with an accelerator such as ours, we're interested to hear from you. We're working with groups such as the NHSA, who was here just before the break speaking. We're looking at a UK-Canada opportunity where we're going to bring a half a dozen UK companies to Canada and send a half a dozen Canadian companies back to the UK. We live on site at a campus called Baycrest Health Sciences. It's an over 100-year-old institution, 22-acre campus, which includes everything from long-term care, assisted living, independent living, post-acute hospital. Also on campus with us is one of the world's top research institutes affiliated with the University of Toronto. It's called the Rotman Research Institute. 250 neuroscientists, postdocs, graduates, all focused on neuroscience, brain health. And we are also the Canadian Center for the Canadian Consortium on Neurodegeneration and Aging is also housed on campus with us in Toronto. And I'm here with James Mayer, who's sitting over there. And we'd be happy to speak with anybody who's interested in some of the acceleration services we provide. And I'd like to introduce next up, Amer from Fluid AI. And Amer is also, Fluid AI is one of the companies that we have funded in one of our programs. Thank you.
Hello, perfect. Thanks a lot, Mel. Amar Abdul Jawad, I'm the Chief Operating Officer and one of the co-founders of Fluid AI. Today is actually a very special day for us at Fluid AI because we're rebranding from Nerve to Fluid. So if you hear me referencing Nerve, that's because I will probably confuse the names for the next few days. So at Fluid AI, we are a company that is focusing on developing solutions to improve post-operative care for physicians as well as for patients. And one of the complications that we are initially focused on is the detection of anastomotic leaks, which is a complication that tends to arise after general surgeries. In a lot of these procedures, you'd have patients coming in with tumors that wrap around the GI tract. And in order to remove the tumor, you'd have to remove portions right before and right after the GI tract. And then you would reconnect it with staples and sutures, as you see on the screen over here. However, in some cases, that staple line can get compromised and content from within the GI tract would leak into the abdominal cavity. This problem affects 8% of patients, and when it does happen, mortality rates tend to be north of 10%. And there's an average cost increase of roughly $50,000 per leak incident. The problem with the standard of care today is that it's very reactive in nature. We keep patients hospitalized after the surgery, we monitor them for symptoms to develop, and then when these symptoms show up, that's when we start intervention, which can sometimes be 2 to 3 days after the complication had already developed. What we're doing today with Fluid AI is that we've developed a pocket-sized device along with a software solution that allows for continuous monitoring of patients after the surgery in order to identify that leak as soon as it arises. We're working with a number of world-renowned healthcare institutions and partners, and we're here in Japan to try to expand our footprint into the Japanese market. Once again, I'm Amar Abdul Jawad, and I'd be very excited to speak to you after this presentation. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Kenneth to the podium.
Hi, good morning, konbanwa, everyone. I just rushed back all the way from Nagoya. So I'm from a Canada company, Neurologics. So basically, Neurologics is based in Toronto, Canada. And we are talking about a very amazing world-first apps. From a mobile phone, scan the face, 30 seconds to know more than 30 of your health and mental vital signs. So easy, without touching your body. So currently, we have many certification and have gone through a clinical trial and also have get some of the compliance, and we have 13 patents currently. All right, so imagine if you go for a medical checkup, it will cost at least 100 USD, and you will go to different stations. There's administration, there's queue, and there will be equipment connected to your body. They could be even drawing a few weeks. But now, just with a 30-second scans, and not just on my mobile phone, it can be on the desktop, on a kiosk, on the robots, on the website, or even a smart TV, smart mirror. So how it works is that when it scans, it extracts the blood flow information from beneath your skins. And then after that, it will not recognize your face. It will just be extracting the information in a form of signals sent to the cloud to do the signal processing, to do the AI modeling, and by our effective AI machine. And then the results will be sent back to your mobile device. At any point of time, none of your information will be sent to our clouds. So what do we measure? You can see that so many sites, for example, blood pressure, now is possible to measure without anything contact with your body, and also irregular heartbeat. And then at the same time, we are also talking about heart rate variability, 3 types of them. And from there, we can derive the cardio workload of your body at any moment of time. And from here, we also can derive the mental stress index scientifically. We do not ask you questions about your stress level. Are you happy today? Are you feeling stressed? We will just using scientific means to derive the stress index. And then at the same time, facial age, this can also detect. And very interesting for the insurance industries, they are very interested to know the risk of their members. For example, this one can also detect the cardiovascular risk, stroke risk, heart attack risk. And at the same time, this is also the world first metabolic disease risk, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, your cholesterol level, your triglyceride level, all these can be detected by these apps. And just last week, we launched new features, HbA1c blood glucose. So those who have this condition no longer needs to really poke their fingers so often. And for us, we are the only company that is backed by so many scientific publications. For example, our blood pressure measurements are 95% accuracy. And this is certified by third party, not by us. In fact, it's by the American Heart Association. This is one of the most renowned associations in the world for cardio activities. All right, so with that, I end my presentation. I will now introduce Brian Jennison.
Hi, I'm Brian Jameson from Vigorous Technologies in Toronto. We're probably about the most low-tech organization here because we don't deal with AI. We don't deal with a lot of digital technologies. We deal with a physical technology that I believe is long overdue to be kind of recapitulated into our life and how we live. So we're technology that's involved in many areas of your physical presence through interaction with your body at a tactile level. This example of some of our patents. So as a company that essentially creates a cushioning technology that's used for any type of protective padding to where we stand, where we sit, where we lay. So mattresses, chair cushions, wheelchair cushions, that kind of thing. We have patents in 21 countries around the world. So probably about the most extensive patent suite that you'd see that would be typical to a lot of pharmaceutical companies with a simple technology of cushioning. And there's a sort of a list of some of these patents that we have. So what we deal with is in the area of energy absorption, impact mitigation, load management, pressure relief, and vibration dampening. And what we do is we have these very vulnerable tip surfaces that when they're loaded, they adjust themselves to whether it's the weight of a very small baby or a 300 or 400 pound man sitting, standing, kneeling on this cushion. And you basically just use the amount of foam that's required to support and modify your body's position within the environment you're sitting in. Example of some of the things that we do. So it's very interesting that the same materials that we use for creating football equipment to deal with high impact in a dangerous sport like football or hockey, a baby can be massaged on it and the same thing. And essentially what we're trying to get the world to sort of understand is that we've left so much on the table in terms of how we deal with the human body. So we're looking at ways of advancing health. We use a lot of medications. We get into sophisticated ways of interacting with the body. without doing something to reestablish the body's ability to create circulation. And just about any disease that exists in the world, if our circulation is impeded in any way, we increase the health risk, because without blood circulation, we don't feed the body with the immune system data that it requires to change how our body's dealing with enzymes and the body and how it's dealing with molecular processes. What we do know from, if you stand on a spike cushion, especially somebody who's had a stroke, their balance goes through the roof immediately. And at the Beijing Tianjin Hospital, they wanted to understand how this was possible. So they put a Doppler at the person's neck, and they see an immediate increase in blood flow to the cerebellum. We know the same thing through near-infrared spectroscopy, that when somebody sits on our cushion, because there's a positive response from the physical structure of the cushion that's constantly creating neurophysics, that we increase the circulation of rich blood flow with oxygen through the body. So this is generally what we're in the space of. Anything that you see like the AI type systems and the complex exoskeleton systems, it amazes me that they'll strap a body in and they won't say, how can we stimulate the body to understand the movements that we're creating for it? So in everything that we do, all we're simply trying to do is to increase the complexity of information that's being fed to the body and increase both its frequency and its level. So we're like turning on a dimmer switch on a light switch. And we watch and we see somebody that's got a stroke that can barely stand up, and they stand on a spike cushion and they regain their balance because they turn on their autonomous balance system just by giving more information to the body. So anybody that's involved in anything like wheelchairs, beds for hospitals, any protective equipment that's used for people that are under some stress or danger of falls, that's the area that we work in. And these are just some of our consumer products. This is our new seat cushion for airlines. We introduced this at the Airline Interior Expo in Germany, and had 4 major seat framers come up to us and want to immediately do a trial after just sitting on a cushion like this, because none of them have ever sat on a cushion before that was comfortable on an airplane until they sat on this cushion that we've invented. And that's some of the things we do. Thank you.
So let's move to the next one. I'd like to invite Business Finland. Our speaker is Mr. Eiji Atsumi.
Hello, my name is Eiji Atsumi, working for Business Finland, which is a Finnish government organization engaged in the trade promotion, investment promotion, and also tourism promotion on behalf of Finland. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about the Finnish health innovation today. And firstly, let me talk a bit about the Finnish health ecosystem. As you may know or may not know, Finland is considered as a small giant in health. What does it mean? And Finland is a leader for value for money healthcare. And the quality healthcare services are provided for all the citizens quite efficiently. And patient health records are 100% available in digital and accessible. And the Finnish health tech sector is the biggest export segment of the high-tech sector in Finland. And for R&D and innovation side, Finland offers a unique set of value propositions for the companies who wish to do research and development and innovation in Finland. About that, I'm going to briefly explain today. The first value proposition is a well-functioning healthcare system. I'm not saying that Finland's health ecosystem is the best, but looking from the healthcare outcome perspectives, Finland is scored one of the top, as well as Switzerland and Norway. And if we take the total healthcare cost per capita into perspective, Finland is extremely efficient. So please remember that the Finnish healthcare ecosystem is good and quite cost effective. And the second value proposition is the availability of health data. Actually, this is the core part of the Finnish health ecosystem. Finland has a national registries containing health data from every citizens dating back to 1953. Actually, the cancer registry has started in 1953, and since then other kinds of national registries are collected. And also patients 100% electronic records put in cloud services called Counter, and citizens, pharmacies, and healthcare professionals can access to the data. And importantly, 3 years ago, the Act on the Secondary Use of Health and Social Data was approved by Finnish government. And right now, companies and scientists who wish to access to the data for their research and development can do that. And the third value proposition is engaged people. As you may know that Finland is a country of trust. The people in Finland trust what government is trying to do and also is doing. So why it is good for the health ecosystem is that people are quite happy to contribute to the clinical studies, and they're okay to provide health data or the biosample to the research needs if they believe it contributes to the improvement of the society. And the fourth value proposition is a biobank. Right now, 8 biobanks exist in Finland. And the first one is starting from 1920s. And there is a cooperative organization called the Finnish Biobank, and connecting all the Finnish biobank and act as a one-stop shop. And also there is a service called FinGenius, which helps companies or scientists who wish to access to the biobank to check out the availability of the sample for your research needs, and then help you to do the feasibility study, whether the sample is feasible for the research purpose, and then provide a direct access to the samples. And also genome data collection of the people are going on. And so far, about 10% of the people are genotyped. And these kinds of data and samples can be a strong enabler for the life science research in Finland. And the last but not least is a strong government support to the health sector in Finland. The Finland wished to be the international hub of high quality research and innovation in the area of health and life science sector. And as I said, the core value proposition is the health data. At the same time, the government of Finland is trying to provide as friendly environment as possible for the scientists or companies who wish to innovate in Finland. And let me talk a little bit about an example of ecosystem available in Finland. The firstly, a digital health and well-being ecosystem built around the Helsinki University Hospital. The value of this ecosystem is that companies can access to the data lake provided by Helsinki University Hospital. Clinical data, and also, for example, image data from X-ray diagnosis and things like that are accessible, and as well as the Finnish national registries and electronic patient records available. And the companies involved in the ecosystem join forces and formulate a project and work together. Interesting thing is that not only pharma and medtech companies, but also IT companies are involved, like Microsoft or Fujitsu. And the second example is a consortium called ICANN, which is for the digital precision cancer medicine. The purpose of it is to collect samples of tumor or cancer, and then do the molecular profiling and connect the results with the Finnish health data. This can become a basis for precision cancer medicine research in the future. Finally, I will show you what kind of companies doing business or research in Finland. Not so many compared to the companies based in Japan, but a reasonable number of companies are involved in this sector in Finland. To conclude my presentation today, I wish you to consider Finland as your health innovation destination in the future, And please come and invest in Finland if you're interested. Thank you very much.
Let's move on to the next one. Next group is Economic and Commercial Office, the Embassy of Spain. It's already the last session in this event. And this group has 9 short presentations. I think I can hand over to the Ms. Patricia Rodriguez.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Patricia Rodriguez. I am the biotech specialist from ICEX, Spain Trade and Investment. ICEX is a public institution which aims to the promotion of Spanish biotech companies. As an example, now you are going to hear several Spanish companies, so you can have an idea of what you can find in Spain. So thank you for your attention. David.
Hello, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank LinkJ for inviting us to speak this afternoon. My name is David. I work in Acebio, which is the Spanish Bioindustry Association. So we are a private association, a non-profit private association funded by our members. We represent at the moment over 300 companies. In Spain, there are around 800 biotech companies in all the different areas, life sciences, agriculture, food tech, and others. Our main goal is to create an environment. I mean, this is all our goals, but I'm going to summarize it. To create a better environment for the development of the industry in Spain. At the same time, we try to support the startups and the companies that are our members, but in general, we try to get involved with all the industry. It doesn't matter if they are a member or not, to support them however, whenever we can. So connecting with international pharma companies, investors, or it depends on their needs. In Spain, we have, as I said, almost 800 companies. Over half of them are startups, very young companies. And it makes sense because Spain is ranked 8th in the world in terms of scientific production in biotechnology. So now we are seeing how a new wave of new companies is being created. The rest, most of them are small and mid-sized companies, and 21 we can consider large, with average revenue of over 200 million euros. This is where the companies are located. The main cluster is in Barcelona, where you can find the most developed companies, the local pharma companies, investors, the hospitals. But then you have companies throughout the country, especially in Madrid and the south of Spain, around the city of Granada. You can find also other clusters, but you can really find biotech all over the country. This is a summary of the drugs that are members in Acebio. This is not the whole Spanish company pipeline, but only our members. And yes, one of the things that we do in Spain, in Acebio, is try to help potential investors or pharma companies looking for new licensing opportunities. So we have a complete list of assets if any one of you is interested to learn more. Then in terms of private investment, this is very important for us because it's been growing a lot in the last few years at a rate of over 20%. And for us, it's very important to connect not only with Spanish investors, but also with international ones, venture capital and big pharma. So international investors are very important for us because they're involved in over half of the total investment invested in Spain. So as we see, we got 180 million euros in 2021, and international investors were involved in over 100 million euros of those. So this is basic for us, and this is one of the reasons also why we come to Japan, because Japan has been, in the last few years, this has been become the country with some of the companies that are investing more in Spain. not only acquiring companies, but also through Takeda Ventures and other venture capitals, they are also investing a lot. So yeah, the relationship with Japan is really intense at the moment, and one of the goals attending BioJapan is to keep developing this relationship with institutions, investors, pharma companies, and the rest of the industry. And then I just want to talk about another way that we have the companies is organizing our own events, like BioSpain, which is the equivalent in Spain to BioJapan. So this is organized next year, and you are invited in Barcelona. So last week of September, I hope to see you there. And don't forget to stop by the Spanish Pavilion, where we have 15 companies attending. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ignacio, and I'm the CEO for ADL Biopharma. ADL is a CDMO located in the northwest of Spain, where you can enjoy good tapas, better wine, and the best CDMO services available. We specialize in precision fermentation and purification services that we offer to the cosmetics, aromas, fragrances, nutrition, and in general, personal care industries. And there are two things that sets our company apart. Number one, the know-how that we accumulate after almost 70 years of experience fermenting. And number two, the installed capacity. We have the largest installed capacity in the European Union. We can offer close to 2 million liters in fermentation capacity that we can offer in 3 sizes: 50 cubic meters, 100 cubic meters, and 225 cubic meters. And last but not least, we have a state-of-the-art pilot plant for fermentation and purification, where we help customers both fine-tune and then scale up their processes from the lab bench all the way up to industrial capacity. So remember, if you want to enjoy tapas, good wine, and the best CDMO services available, you have to come over to Spain and visit ADL. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Paivilina, and I'm from the Bioengineering from Barcelona, Spain. And I also have to say that if you come to visit us in Barcelona, you will also find very good wines from the Penedès area. And you also will have good beaches and really good mountains from the Pyrenees. So I just had to say that because we do have those as well. So we are also the CDMO as the previous company. And we are specialized in the tailor-made recombinant protein processes and manufacturing. But we also do antibodies, fermentation processes, purification of protein purification processes, and so on, and mainly work for the biopharmaceutical companies and also for the diagnostic companies. But besides of that, we also do natural ferments as active ingredients for the cosmetic companies. And we also have started to work and collaborate with the food sector companies in terms of the precision fermentation. What else? We use 3 technologies. So we use the bacterial expression system, mainly the E. coli. Then we use the mammalian cells. So we use there the CHO and H. echi cells, and then also the yeast expression system. And mainly we are really good specialists with the Pichia pasteuris. Thank you.
Hello, I am Miguel Fernandez from Biomar Microbial Technologies. We are a biotech company fully devoted to marine microbiology and natural products chemistry. As ADL, we are located also in León, that is a small city, but with a very big biotechnology hub. And yeah, I confirm that we are a city with a good option of wine and tapas. During our more than 25 years of history, we have done several bioprospections all around the world, taking samples in different marine environments to constitute our collection of around 80,000 microorganisms. From this collection, we have also, by fermentation, obtained another collection of extracts that we have around 70,000 and 1,000 pure compounds that we have purified and identified. We offer access to this collection to our partners along with our screening design expertise in 4 different main areas: agriculture, human and animal health, food, and cosmetics. We also have a pilot plant with volumes until 3,000 liters in which we develop scale up and process development projects. Next year, we will start working under GMP certification. We also have our own developments. We have three biopesticides in field trials, and also in human health, we have a preclinical pipeline with 2 assets, 1 neuroprotector and 1 against glioblastoma. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abby. I'm the co-founder and the COO of Diversa Technologies. Diversa is a spin-off company that was recently incorporated last January, and we have detected a problem. That is that 97% of the drugs and biomolecules that are discovered in preclinical stages never make it to the clinic. This is due to pharmaceutical limitations such as poor solubility, poor stability, or that they cannot enter inside the cells where 3 out of 4 molecules have their target. What we want to do in Diversa, we want to bridge the gap between the molecules and the patients, between the early discovery and the clinical applications. How we do it? We have patented a novel drug delivery system that is based on lipidic nanoemulsions that are highly efficient in intracellular delivery, highly stable and biocompatible. We offer our technology in kits ready to use for the researchers. We also offer co-development services for biotech and pharma companies. And we also have our own R&D pipeline. And together we want to start a therapeutic revolution. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm Teresa Sardón from Fundación Medina. So my organization is independent research organization focused on the discovery of novel bioactive natural products, mainly, but not only, microorganism or microorganism derived products. So we have a wide range of capabilities from the early discovery to preclinical, but I would like to highlight 3 of our strengths. The first one is that we own a very large strain collection, microbial strain collection, and also very large extract library. And it's one of the largest worldwide. And we have created it looking for diversity in terms of taxonomy, in terms of also geographical and ecological sources. The second strength is our state-of-the-art high-throughput screening platform that we use for screening our libraries or any other library available or from our partners. And the third strength is the experience of our team. For example, we have a chemistry department team that has more than 20 years experience in the natural product chemistry. So they are able to isolate the natural products or to replicate or identify the chemical structure of the novel molecules we are purifying. And then we partner with companies from the different sectors which may be interested in microorganisms or microorganism derived products.
like cosmetics, chemistry industries. Now in the last day, especially the agricultural sector too, for any biostimulants, bio crop protection, but especially with the pharma, because historically is our main sector, and we help them to identify these novel biocompounds, small molecules. And in the last years, for example, now it's getting so important, the microbiome. We can also help by mixing our capacities in microbiology and the natural product chemistry. Thank you very much for your attention.
Hello, thank you for inviting us. I'm Almudena Gomez from Invest Biofarm. We are a company located in the south of Spain, and we have our R&D department and our own manufacturing plant, fully certified to produce cosmetics, specifically cosmetics for professional area and medical devices. We have also medical devices with the CE mark, class 3 CE mark. And we have a Japanese patent to stabilize proteins. We are really focused on epidermal growth factors and other growth factors that have demonstrated to be stable and high efficacy in these areas. All the products with that has been remarked are already present in the market. So if you need further information, we will be tomorrow in the Spain stand. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Matilde Las Rivas. I am from Lefprot Bioscience. I don't know why, but I do not appear on timetable, but I'm here, so that's true. We are Lefprot Bioscience. We are a biotech company that is specialized in the expression and production of enzymes and recombinant proteins from yeast cells. We have chosen both conventional and non-conventional yeast cells because they allow us to avoid some of the problems that other expression system has, like non-specific DNA prokaryotic contamination or non-scalable technology. We have a current portfolio of proteins oriented towards in vitro diagnostic, food industry, and biopharmacy, and we also offer CDMO services that help us to make custom-made proteins and processes that can answer to any problem that our clients may have in expressions. Thank you very much.
Okay. You have a quick card.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Sara. I come from Regemat 3D, bioengineering company from Granada, the south of Spain. Regemat 3D was founded in 2015 with the objective of integrating the advantages of additive manufacturing and tissue engineering to create personalized biofabrication solutions with applications in regenerative medicine. Since then, Regemat 3D has become a pioneer in customized 3D bioprinting with presence in 30 countries. We work with more than 100 research groups, and our technologies have been validated by world-leading scientists in a wide range of applications, such as biomaterial development, tissue engineering, and drug testing and development. We are the only company in the world specialized in the design and development of customized bioprinters and bioreactors, but our main objectives go beyond the production of biomedical hardware. Our main goals are actually the translation of research results into clinics. That's why we collaborate with researchers, but also undertake our own internal research projects, positioning ourselves as a key factor in the progress towards the development of more efficient and personalized medical therapies in the upcoming future. So thank you.
So I think it's Okay, so thank you, the Spain team for interesting presentations. Actually, you know, tapas and good wine are very attractive for me, so I need to visit someday. Okay, and now all presentations have been completed, and it's almost on time, so thank you for your cooperation. And to all online participants, this is the end of the event. Thank you for joining the Global Life Science Session 2022. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in different LinkJ events. So before leaving from the site, please complete a survey. So see you soon. And to all in the conference room, we are now moving on to a networking session. And why don't we move to the foyer just outside of this conference room? You can find some foods and drinks. So thank you very much for your cooperation.